So, Mark Mansour, you're the state authority on ethics for a lot of reasons, and we know that by being that, you do a lot of education across the state. You work with a lot of realtors for CE and even orientation. So, here's a question for you. In those classes, what would you say is the issue that most often generates debate, conflict, conversation? What do people most ask you about and most ask you to explain and express?
Well, I mean, during the class, there's a lot of conversation on all the articles we go over. A lot of people just don't remember, and some just don't even know. So, I would say probably the most debatable topic that we talk about amongst each other in their own boards would be Article 3, Standard of Practice, specifically 3.6. Article 3 states basically realtors shall cooperate with other brokers when cooperation is, except when cooperation is not in the best interest of the client. The obligation to cooperate does not include the obligation to share commission fees or to otherwise compensate another broker. Standard of Practice 3.6 states that realtors shall disclose the existence of all accepted offers, including offers with unresolved contingencies, to any broker seeking cooperation. It basically says that you are supposed to disclose that you have a contract on a property, even if the buyer has to sell their house. It's contingent upon the buyer selling their house. It's contingent upon financing. It's contingent upon a home inspection. The thing and where the topic we get into is the code says you have to disclose, but the code doesn't state how you are supposed to disclose. But most local board MLSs have rules and regulations. And most of the boards have a regulation that if there's a change in a status of a listing, you have to make that change within 48 hours or 72 hours. And we get a lot of conversation from the realtor saying, but my duty is to my client, and if my client tells me, even in writing, to leave that property active in the MLS, aren't I supposed to do that? And I always come back with, well, they're asking you to break an MLS rule and regulation. So that one right there really brings up a lot of conversation between the agents.
So would you say the resolution to that really is that the message to the realtor is that even if a property is under contract in what we call our systems, that we still need to show that and make that available to potential buyers up until closing, or at least up until a reasonable time period before closing?
Of course. I mean, that's our fiduciary duty to our client, whether it be the buyer client or the seller client, that we show them all available property.
Right.
Even, available property in my definition is anything that has not closed.
Right, right.
So, it is up to the buyer's will, and we shouldn't say, well, I don't want to waste my time.
Right.
Because our fiduciary duty is to our client.